Last year's floods and windstorm affected more than 50,000 people on July 30th and 31st, 2022, destroying hundreds of homes in the hinterland. As July sets in, yet another stakeholders are coming together to discuss and map out ways to boost disaster resilience during the 2023 rainy season, which begins in earnest with heavy rains hitting every part of the country. The Deputy Country Director, World Food Programme, Malik Njai, renewed his office's commitment to support government in addressing flash floods and its adverse effects.
We are here to support the government through National Disaster Management Agency, really to make sure that we are ready to respond, to any disaster, particularly the flooding. We have here a lot of organizations that are represented, involved in the response to floods. We would like to make sure that we are ready first, and as well we are coordinating very well.
The Executive Director, National Disaster Management Agency, Sana Dahaba, who is leading national disaster management efforts, said, in as much as efforts are mapped out to support and prevent floods, positive attitudes are expected from the citizenry.
All stakeholders and partners, so that we take a post-mortem of what happened last year. How do we improve our level of response? How do we strengthen the level of preparedness in response to this year's rainy season? I keep saying these things. In this country, compliance and enforcement is the biggest challenge as far as disaster management and disaster governance in this country is concerned. Indiscriminate dumping of waste everywhere. We all know that waste induces flooding. So this is why it is important that we call on the general public. In as much as government is providing the regulatory framework, I think the public must support the government.
The Information Management Officer at the Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, Mary Wagner, hailed the development, describing it as knowledge sharing based on last year's floods to see best possible ways to collaborate for better results.
Actors from the government, different agencies are represented here, from non-governmental actors such as international and national NGOs, as well as different agencies from the United Nations. All of these organizations have been involved in the devastating flooding that happened last year. And we want to use these 3 days to really talk about what has happened last year and why were there certain challenges and gaps and what we can do differently this year.
The 3-day convergence is expected to put stakeholders on a better footing to prevent flood disasters and provide adequate support for victims. Khadija Tujalo, GRTS.